Introduction. Friends, we need to have a profound conversation about the unspoken truths of human connection. There are certain desires, certain deep-seated psychological fantasies that exist in the female mind, which modern society encourages us to ignore, yet they remain central to attraction and commitment. This isn't about manipulation or outdated stereotypes. This is about accessing the primal, universal architecture of human psychology that shapes how women perceive a man's worth and their safety within a relationship. We're going to pull back the curtain on 3 fantasies she will likely never admit to, but which, if understood, will revolutionize your understanding of female desire. Prepare to challenge everything you thought you knew, because these 3 keys unlock the secret to true, lasting, magnetic attraction. Fantasy number 1. The dangerous man who chooses her. The ultimate fantasy is not about dating a sweet, harmless man who poses no challenge. It is the desire for the man who could destroy her, but chooses not to. This is a deep dive into the core difference between weakness and controlled power. A man who is genuinely unable to handle confrontation, or who avoids all conflict out of fear of upsetting anyone, signals weakness. He cannot guarantee her safety, nor can he defend the space of the relationship. The fantasy woman holds is for a man who possesses genuine, formidable capability, whether that power is physical, intellectual, financial, or emotional, but who reserves his strength. He has an edge. She wants to witness that flash of capacity when external disrespect occurs, that split-second realization that he is capable of great force, only to watch him exercise restraint and choose a path of wisdom. The crucial nuance, the choice and her worth. The gentleness she receives from him is not a given. It is a profound choice he makes, and that choice is the ultimate validation of her value. She wants to feel that out of all the people and situations he could be dominant over, he treats her like precious cargo. She has tamed the untamable simply by being deemed worthy of his highest form of protection and tenderness. This fulfills a deep evolutionary need for a capable protector, paired with the modern desire for a loving partner. The true high is knowing that he is powerful, but she is the one person in his life he is fiercely devoted to protecting, not dominating. Fantasy number 2. Being completely dominated by someone who worships her. This fantasy is often misinterpreted through a lens of abuse or disrespect, but in reality, it is the profound desire for a deep, therapeutic sense of relaxation. The modern woman operates under an immense and constant mental load. She is perpetually in charge of her career, her health, her relationships, the household logistics, and countless small decisions. She is forced to be competent, strong, and in control all day long, the surrender of safety. The fantasy of domination is, in essence, a fantasy of complete, secure surrender to a superior intelligence or will. She fantasizes about a man whose competence is so absolute, whose love is so devoted, that she can finally lay down her mental burden and simply be. She wants to be relieved of the anxiety of being the one who has to think about everything. The man in this fantasy takes control, not because he thinks she is incapable, but because he sees the weight she carries and wants to give her the ultimate gift, the freedom to stop thinking. He controls the experience, e.g., planning the date, directing intimacy, making a large household decision, but the entire, singular purpose of his control is her comfort, pleasure, and well-being. She will only surrender control to the man who is absolutely obsessed with her happiness, the man who cares about her more than she is to care about herself in that moment. It is the ultimate expression of safety and adoration. Fantasy number 3. The man who doesn't need her but chooses her anyway. This is the most potent fantasy for building long-term attraction, the desire to be chosen by a man who is already completely whole and self-sufficient. A man who is driven, has a dialed-in career, possesses fulfilling hobbies, and maintains a solid social life is a man who is already content alone. He is not a project. He is not looking for a woman to fix a hole in his life. He is a full cup. The terror of neediness versus the exhilaration of choice. When a man declares, "You are my everything," or "I was nothing before I met you," the woman hears a terrifying and crushing statement: "I am incomplete, and I am now placing the entire burden of my happiness and self-worth on your shoulders." This profound neediness is suffocating and feels like a massive obligation. The man who doesn't need her, however, is intoxicating. Every moment he spends with her, every gesture of affection, every prioritization of her feelings, is not a demand for validation. It is a pure act of choice. She knows he has options. She knows he could be perfectly happy doing his own thing. But out of all the beautiful paths his life could take, he keeps selecting her as the partner he wants to share his abundant existence with. She is not a necessity. She is an addition of gold to an already rich existence. This is the highest form of flattery and validation, confirming her value not by her ability to fill a void, but by her ability to enhance perfection. Conclusion. Understanding these three fantasies is not about adopting a facade or playing games. It is about committing to a life of authentic self-improvement and becoming the kind of man who naturally embodies these qualities. Be dangerous, but controlled. Develop genuine competence and power, but wield it with discipline and reserve it for her protection and not her subjugation. Be dominant, but devoted. Carry your own weight, take decisive action, and lead with purpose, but do so with the singular goal of ensuring her comfort, security, and happiness. Be complete, but choosing. Cultivate a life that is so rich and fulfilling on its own that your choice of her is the greatest compliment you can give, a genuine expression of desire, not a desperate grab for completion. When you operate from a place of competence, devotion, and wholeness, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop seeking validation and start becoming the man who naturally fulfills the deepest, most beautiful psychological needs of a woman. This is the path to becoming a magnetic, high-value man.